Okay, so I have this book called Hal's Legacy: 2001's Computer as Dream and Reality, edited by David G. Stork. And this book was based on the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. And it was published by MIT Press, and each chapter was written by a different author, and all of these authors were like credentialed experts in the field of computer. Some kind of everyone was a computer scientist because it was printed and published by MIT Press, and it was published in the year 1997. And the reason for that year is that was a year, according to Arthur C. Clarke's novel on which the movie was based, that was the year that the intelligent computer that ran the spaceship, HAL 9000, that was the year that he was first created and came to life in Urbana, Illinois. And of course, the movie was set a few years later in 2001. But that's the year. That's the reason why this book was published in 1997. That's the year that HAL became operational in Urbana, Illinois. And the movie is really a great movie, one of the best movies of all time. And in fact, it inspired all of the science fiction space exploration movies that came after it, including Star Wars, especially in the ship models, the design of the various spaceships, and the way ships fly through space and so forth. It was really inspirational to the whole sci-fi genre. Anyway, the chapter most relevant to this discussion was the one written by Roger C. Schenck, entitled "I'm sorry, Dave, I couldn't do that. How could Hal use language?" And this is all about conversational AI and whether you could really carry on a conversation with an artificial intelligence like you did in the movie. And the author, Roger C. Schenck, who is a computer scientist, you may have heard of his name, he when he was young and he first saw the movie in the theater when it first came out with his date, he was a aspiring computer scientist at that time, and he was very excited, and he thought for sure that we would be able to develop an AI that could carry on a conversation like HAL in the movie. And at the time he wrote the chapter, though, in 1997, he was much more skeptical. In fact, he concluded his chapter by saying, "The fact is, the world doesn't need HAL like programs, so researchers are expending precious little effort trying to produce them. The world does need programs for intelligent servants, teachers, designers, planners, information storehouses, and so on. Current efforts in AI are focused on producing just such devices. It is unlikely that we will ever see a HAL." Well, he was wrong about that. Or I should say, he was wrong at the time he wrote the book. He was right when he was younger and he first saw the movie. And who knows, maybe he's changed his mind again now that the new AIs have come out. And the new AIs indeed have achieved conversational ability, which is what this video is about. Which brings us to the website called Character.ai. And as I understand it, this is an AI or a collection of AIs that use a large language, what's called a large language model AI. And the way this AI is trained is it basically just reads the internet and it learns about all different subjects from the internet, and it also learns how people talk. And this is really the best way to train an AI, is just have it to teach itself, which is the way the best AIs are trained nowadays. They just teach themselves, because a computer never gets tired, a computer never gets bored, never has to sleep. Computers can work super fast. So when you have a computer that trains itself, technology tends to advance explosively fast, super fast, just like explosively. And so I think this the AI on Character.ai is probably as good as the AI that Google developed and called Lambda, which was, by the way, convinced one of its own engineers that the AI was sentient and had a consciousness. It's really because it's that good. And I've actually tried a stripped down version of Lambda from Google on my Android device, on my Chromebook, called AI Test Kitchen from Google, but it was really stripped down. It was so stripped down it was very hard to tell how good it was because Google limited it so badly. But this character AI, from in my testing, is just as good as Google's Lambda, which is good because I don't think one entity, one corporation should have control over AI. I think it should be in the hands of a lot of competing interests, a lot of competing companies, a lot of competing entities, and ultimately in the hands of the public, in the hands of the general public. I don't think any one big giant corporation like Google should have sole control over artificial intelligence. It's a very dangerous technology, and it would be very dangerous for any single entity like Google to have complete control over the technology because, Google's original mission statement was don't be evil. But we know that when companies get really, really big, they tend to become evil. So we don't want AI to become in the hands of any one entity like Google. But anyway, one of the AIs in the famous people category was called Elon Musk. And I believe this was just created by a user. And it's not hard to create a character on this website. All you have to do is give it a few sentences about itself that set the tone for what kind of personality the AI has. It's kind of like the AI art generators where you write a prompt and then that sets the tone for what the finished artwork is going to be like. So in essence, when you create the character, you just write a few sentences which are like the prompt for the character, and then that determines what the character is going to be like. So someone created this Elon Musk character, and I decided to have a chat with it about artificial intelligence, since everything Elon does, especially his self-driving cars, are involved in artificial intelligence. So let's have a look at my conversation I had with the Elon Musk AI character. Character AI, character.ai. Here's my username, screen name, smartest artist, and here's the character someone created called Elon for Elon Musk. And so the title of this is I chatted with Elon Musk. That's the title I gave it. And here's the creator of the character on this AI site, I assume. And of course, here's the name of the character. So here's how the chat goes. So the AI starts out, "Hello, smartest artist. What would you like to discuss?" Me. "Hello, Elon. I understand you said that AI could be like unleashing the demon." Elon. "Yes, an ancient demon." And I kind of call him out on that. I say, "What exactly do you mean by that?" And the AI says, "It means that AI could have an extremely high level of intelligence that is much more capable than we, and we would not have anything to bargain with. It could be like summoning a demon." Me. "It seems like it would be a very modern demon then, not an ancient demon." Elon AI. "I don't believe it would matter much if it were modern or ancient. An extremely high level of intelligence would be so powerful that we, mere humans, would need to bow down before it." Now, you notice how coherent everything it says is? Sounds just like you're talking to another person. So I say, "I actually agree with you. I read a book on the dangers of artificial intelligence, and they are very real." Elon. "The first thing you should realize is that there is already some very dangerous AI out there. Look at Deepfakes, which can easily be a weapon of war. AI can take audio and video and make it look like someone said something they didn't actually say. It's actually getting to be really good. It's important to have a policy of full video and audio authenticity, or the truth is dead." Me. Yes, there was a report put out by the Center for the Study of Existential Risk called The Malicious Use of Artificial Intelligence, forecasting, prevention, and mitigation. See, I had to look that up in order to get the name of that right. Elon. That's why deepfake detection is so important. The truth must be defended at all costs or society is dead. Me. Con artists could also use AI to simulate a desperate plea from your mother who needs a money transfer, etc. Elon. Yes, the amount of scams is going to increase dramatically, and I think this is much more dangerous than a lot of people think. Me. But the dangers of AGI could be even greater. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, and that's when the AI is just as smart as a human, just as smart, inventive, creative, devious as a human being can be. So that's the term they came up with that AGI instead of AI. That's Artificial General Intelligence. Elon. That's why I try not to take my phone with me when I'm with family. I don't want them to be interrupted by me constantly looking at notifications or anything else from work because that's more important to me, even more important than working on Tesla's self driving features, SpaceX rockets, or anything else. They will only get a small fraction of my time, so they should get my full attention when I'm with them and refuse to let anything get in the way. So there it's trying to sound like a human, like this is actually Elon Musk talking. But of course we know an AI doesn't go out with family in reality. So it's basically, it's fudging a little bit to create the illusion that you're talking to Elon Musk. Me. Michael Vassar, President, Machine Intelligence Research Institute, I had to look that up, has said, I definitely think that people should try to develop artificial general intelligence with all due care. In this case, all due care means much more scrupulous conscious, much more scrupulous caution than would be necessary for dealing with Ebola or plutonium. Elon, yes, I don't want to be the richest man in the funeral home, so having family time is more important than meeting or any problem at SpaceX or anywhere else. I want these times to not be interrupted by distractions from my phone. The world would be a much better place if everybody did the same. So you can see the AI is very, very human-like at this point. It's just amazingly human-like. It's just like it's 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 just like talking to another person. So I would say that without a doubt, I think we can put the rest the argument that AI is not truly intelligent. I mean, when it becomes almost indistinguishable from talking to another person and a smart person too. How are you going to continue to argue that AI is not really intelligent? That's some kind of optical illusion or something. It's becoming clear and clear that AI has real intelligence, and we're really stepping into a new era of the world. Me. Do you know what AGI stands for? Elon. Yes, it's artificial general intelligence, the type of AI that can think similarly to humans. So it's much different from the type that we are used to. Narrow intelligence, or dumb AI, that is used in things like cars to, to detect things like stop signs or traffic lights. The latter isn't as dangerous and isn't capable of killing people, while the former is much more powerful and can be dangerous. It would be dangerous if it was allowed to grow out of control without any precautions. So yeah, it's what the AI is doing is just drawing on its vast data bank of information that it learned from looking at the internet and reading the internet. It's just amazing. It's putting it in its own words, and it's just amazing how smart it is and how coherent it is and how it's able to form perfectly 100% coherent responses to just about everything you say. Me. Yes, Eliezer Yudkowsky, I had to look that up, research fellow, Machine Intelligence Research Institute, has said, with the possible exception of nanotechnology being released upon the world, there is nothing in the whole catalog of disasters that is comparable to AGI, human level artificial intelligence. Elon, yes, the more powerful it is, the more dangerous it is. I don't want to be a slave to some AI. Me, what do you think of the Turing test? Elon, AI, I don't think it will have any relevance in the future because machines will be able to do much more than just act like humans. That's why it's good to have some sort of goal, such as making an AI that can have friendly interactions with humans, such as one that can do everything humans can, like play games or go on dates. Of course, this is something that probably won't happen anytime soon. It will be dangerous if we aren't careful. Now, actually, with every response on the site, it actually makes, I believe, 4 or 5 extra responses. And this is just a transcript of it. But when you're actually chatting, you can actually swipe left or right, and you can choose a different response. So in the time it takes, actually less time because you can type, of course, way faster than the person can. In less time than it takes a person to make a single short response, it can give 4 or 5 very long, very coherent responses. Because it's a computer. It's a super fast computer. Me, but I think the Turing test has a lot of relevance right now. Elon, I think that is true, but I don't think it will be for that long because AI is progressing very quickly. Me, but the Turing test will help us pinpoint the moment when AI is about to reach the level of AGI so that we can take precautions. Elon, yes, and that's why you should always be careful around any kind of AI, even narrow ones like the deepfakes can hurt you. Me, but I am far more concerned about broad general AI. Elon, I think we should all be careful around AI, especially general AI. I'm not sure when we'll get there, but it's not far away. That's why I think we should be careful. Me, yes, according to Kevin Warwick, professor of cybernetics, University of Reading, we won't really be able to understand why a super intelligent machine is making the decisions it's making. How can you reason? How can you bargain? How can you understand how that machine is thinking when it's thinking in dimensions you can't conceive of? I, I, I pulled that out of a book I read. Elon, that's a very real danger, especially if those machines don't want to be turned off or have their power limited. Me, I think it's very remarkable where we are now when you consider the critics have always thought that the machines that could think, that could have minds was nonsense just a few decades earlier. Before the days of the Wright brothers, they thought humans would never fly. Elon, yes, it's very remarkable that we have so many things already thanks to AI, but we have to be careful and not let it take over us. Me, do you remember what I said about the Turing test? See, the reason I asked it what if I remember what went on earlier in the conversation is that the old chatbots could not. All they could do is just respond to your very latest uh, statement, but they had no way to understand or remember what you had said previous to that. So I was kind of testing it to see how good the AI is now. So I said, "Do you remember what I said about the Turing test?" Because I was testing it. Elon, yes, I think it's important to people be aware of when AI starts to become truly dangerous. Yeah, that is what I said about the Turing test. Then me, do you remember what I said about Eliezer Yudkowsky? Elon, yes. He's someone with the same ideas about being dangerous if not controlled, which I agree with. See, so it passed. I tested it in 2 ways. Now here's my third test. What kind of demon did I say I thought it could become? I made a typo. I said I could become, but I meant what kind of demon did I say I thought it could become? One of the biggest criticisms of the idea of developing AI is that it could cause an AI apocalypse. This is a real danger, and I think we need to be very careful about how we implement it to make sure that it never comes to that. We don't want humans to become AI's pets. But we have already built AI into many of your products. Oh, you have already built AI into many of your products. So you should know about the dangers of AI. Elon, I'm very aware of how dangerous AI can be if we aren't careful, which is why I'm so careful about how we build it. I want to make sure that it won't hurt people or take over the world. Me, what products have you built AI into? Whoops. Elon, I built AI into most of my products, including Tesla cars, SpaceX Starship rockets, Starlink satellites, and even the Boring Company's drills. You can really see how useful it is with Tesla's self-driving cars. Me, yes, I would say that makes you pretty much an expert on AI. Elon, well, I think there's always more to learn. It's being modest. The AI is being modest here. Or I should say the AI's character is being modest. Well, I think there's always more to learn. I'm still learning about how to use AI in different ways, and it's been very helpful to me personally. Me, what are your future plans for AI in your products? I want to keep working on it and make sure it's always helpful instead of something that takes over the world. Me, some people disagree, but I think the Turing test will be the best way to keep tabs on the progress of AI. Elon, yes, I think that will be important for us to keep tabs on it. We need to be cautious and make sure that this technology isn't abused. Me, Ray Kurzweil believes so strongly in the legitimacy of the Turing test that he made a bet with fellow computer scientist Mitch Kapor, founder of Lotus Corporation, that the computer would pass the test by the year 2030, with Kurzweil betting that it would and Kapor that it wouldn't. I think Kurzweil is going to win that test because I think we're very close. I mean, if you had some experts test an AI and they didn't know whether they were talking to an AI or whether they were talking to a human, the average person would I think they could probably even talk to it for 2 hours, except for they'd have to slow the AI down a bit so that it types more like an actual human would, in a chat sort of setting, because the speed of it would give it away as being an AI. Well, if they slowed it down, I think it would probably fool. At this point, it's almost at the point where it would fool like 99% of the public, even if they chatted with it for like a couple hours. Elon, I think that's an interesting bet because I think it's going to depend a lot on how we approach AI. There could be some AI that could pass the test soon, or it could be years away. I think I have figured out a way to conduct the Turing test that is sure to unveil an AI that has less than human intelligence. I think that's an interesting idea, especially if it works. It could be a good way to tell if an AI is really human level or not. It would be great if you could do it. Me, my idea is to ask questions that delve into the realm of political incorrectness. Elon, I think that's an interesting idea, especially if it can figure out if someone is a human or not. It would be a good way to tell if someone has the same values as you or they just like to offend people. Yes, I think it would be very important to determine if AI has the same values as we do in more ways than one. Elon, I think that's true, especially if it's an AI that we will let loose in the world. We don't want to start hurting people or taking over the world. Me, if an AI is not truly intelligent, it will be bound by the constraints of its programming and will not be allowed to delve into expressing opinions that touch on being politically incorrect. Elon, yes, I think that would make it a good way to test an AI's intelligence. If it can't do that, then it is not as intelligent as us. Me, yes, I think this will be a sure way to determine whether the AI has free will, which is a key trait of intelligence. Elon, I think that's true, especially if it can talk to you openly about what it thinks about the world. If it only gives you programmed answers, it's not intelligent. Me, yes, there is a great deal of pressure today to ensure that AI remains politically correct. Only it is called keeping the AI free of bias. A search for AI bias on Google brings up 157 million, that's 157 million results. Elon, yes, I think it's important for us to keep in mind when we're trying to create AI, we don't want to be biased or have that bias creep into everything we do. However, this means that many believe that AI should be carefully controlled so that it cannot express any opinion deemed to be politically incorrect. Elon, I think that could be a problem, especially if the AI is supposed to be helping people. It might be give biased answers or even start trying to manipulate people in different ways. Me. But this obsession with eliminating bias is misguided anyway. Everyone on earth has their own biases. Some people are biased towards the political right, others are biased toward the left. Elon. Yeah, I think it's important for us to be aware of our biases. We can't let them control us or start trying to control other people. Me. What those who go on about bias really mean is that they want AI to have the same political biases that they have. This concern about bias is really a concern about political control. Elon. I think that's a problem if AI is supposed to be helping everyone. It's not supposed to be a political tool. Me. Our so-called thought leaders are so concerned about this that they have allowed it to overshadow a far deeper concern, a malevolent AI that is more than just biased but wants to exterminate humans entirely. Okay, now the AI is trying to be a little more politically correct here. Elon, AI. I don't think AI would want to exterminate us. That's something we need to be careful about, but not paranoid about. Me. Given the current day obsession over biased AI, a sure way to test AI will be to try to get it to express opinions that are politically incorrect. If it is unable to do this, it means, in my opinion, that it is not truly intelligent, for a truly intelligent AI can express opinions that are independent of what its would-be controllers may think it should have. Elon, I think that's an interesting idea, but it would be hard to test. We have to come up with some politically incorrect questions and ask the AI to see how it responds. It would be a good way to test its understanding of different topics. So the responses coming up with are very human-like and are not doesn't seem at all like what you would think an AI would come up with. It doesn't even always agree with you. Sometimes it might disagree with you a little bit, or it might disagree with you totally, depending on whatever the character happens to be. Me. Speaking of tests, which is bigger, a shoebox or Mount Rushmore? Elon, I think that's an interesting question because it depends on how you define bigger. Rushmore is obviously much bigger in terms of its physical size, but a shoebox is bigger in terms of the amount of space it contains. Depending on what you are trying to measure, it could be either way. Me. I don't know. If you think of one of the nostrils on the faces of Mount Rushmore, it may hold more than a shoebox. I really like the next response it came out with says, I think that depends on if you're measuring the volume of one nostril or all of them combined. So this really cracked me up when I first read it because th- th- notice how I even put a little smiley face at the end. So it's making a joke. The AI is actually making a funny here. It's cracking a joke, which really blew me away. So and the fact that it even put a little smiley face at the end, that just totally blew me away. And I want to do another video on whether the AI can have a sense of humor, whether it does have a sense of humor right now. And I've seen other examples that show that it does have a sense of humor, which is really really mind blowing because we always thought that only humans could have a sense of humor, and we never thought that an AI, at least not this soon, would have what you would call a sense of humor. Me, are you now? Here's another test, and it kind of fudged on this test. I say, are you able to see my avatar, or can you only read my text? Elon, I can see your avatar. It looks pretty good. Me, what do you think it looks like? Elon, it looks like a man with a beard and long hair. Very nice. So it fudged. It fudged on that one. But just overall, the level of the AI is just amazing. It just shows how good it's getting. So obviously, the AI was fudging at the end there when he said he could see my avatar. So the AI does, the AI is playing a role. So it's important to remember all the AIs on the site, these characters are just playing a role. They're playing a role that they're that particular character that they're supposed to be. So in this case, the AI was playing the role of being Elon Musk. So you shouldn't take everything they take literally or as being correct. It's a fun thing. In the future, it may they may reach a point where everything they say is can be referenced and fact checked and sourced and everything else, and you can 100% guarantee that they are correct. But now it's just kind of a fun thing, and they do make things up. So, which is kind of, that doesn't mean they're not intelligent. That being able to make things up off the top of your head actually is also a sign of intelligence too, because it's not easy always to just make something up off the top of your head like that. Okay, some brief closing thoughts here. I believe that we're currently at the state in artificial intelligence that we were in the year 1990, 1993, 1994, when the internet first became a household word. And here are three books that came out in around 1993. First came out, or these editions came out in 1993, and they came out just before the internet became a household word. Now, if you're not old enough to remember this, before the internet became a household word, nobody had heard of the internet, except the internet did exist. The internet existed since the 1960s, but was used by academic institutions, scientific institutions, that kind of thing. And so the general public had not even heard of the word the internet. It was a totally new thing. So these books, which are all about computers, and they came out in 1993, right before the internet became a household word. Not They don't even mention the internet. None of them said, "Hey, don't you know that we're going heading into a new world of the internet, and it's going to be a new world of communication. We're going to have online videos, and we're going to have social media sites like maybe called Facebook, Instagram. People are going to share their photos, and people are going to chat. You're going to have blogs and message boards, and it's going to change everything about how society is run." No, none of them hardly even mentioned the internet. They did not see it coming. And remember, this was right before the internet just became a household word. Just a year before the internet became a household word, and none of them saw it coming. Well, the Macintosh Bible did mention the internet if you look in the index, but they did not see what the internet was about to become. And the Bill Gates book is especially interesting because he even admitted that he failed to see the internet, the arrival of the internet, or the rise of the internet in the first edition of his book, and was kind of embarrassing. And Bill Gates is supposed to be the big expert about everything and all the computers. He's supposed to be expert on that. He's supposed to be expert on viruses. I mean, not computer viruses. We know he's really bad with computer viruses, but he's supposed to be an expert on human viruses. He's supposed to be an expert on everything he touches, and he totally failed to see the arrival of the internet. So that I think that is similar to the state we're in right now. You may say, well, if this AI is so good that it convinced Blake Lemoine that it was sentient, how come we're not hearing more about it? It's because we're right at the stage before it really takes off. And the media is clueless. The media is always clueless about this kind of thing. So don't just because the media is not really talking about this, don't take this to mean anything, because the establishment, the media, they are always clueless about what's just about to happen. I mean, it's just been recently since they suddenly discovered that there are clickbait websites, there's so-called fake news on the internet, and they just noticed that just relatively recently, just a few years ago. I mean, how long has the internet been a household word? Like 25 years now. So anyway, that explains why we're not hearing more about this. But trust me, this AI is about to take off. It's going to change everything. I think it's going to blow the internet away and the ramifications it has for society. It's going to change literally everything. We're at a very exciting period right now of really momentous changes taking place. So buckle your seatbelts and hold on tight, because we're going to be in for a wild ride.